Thank you, Steve. Yes, here they come. Here come the players. As Steve mentioned, Arsenal walking out again as they did at Tottenham last week with these sort of, I would call them pink actually. They're pink bomber jackets, and they've got the big A on the left breast, and they're lining up on the halfway line.
I reckon they'd sell them in the club shop, John, if you fancy after.
I think
you could nip in there.
Superstore will be doing a roaring trade. So Arsenal are out. Manchester United as well, led out by Bruno Fernandes. They've got the plain black tracksuit tops on, and under now overcast skies here in North London, we have Arsenal against Manchester United. And after this match, Arsenal will be halfway through their Premier League season as they attempt to win the title for the first time for 19 years. And this afternoon, they're going to play the only team to beat them so far in the Premier League this season. Erik ten Hag's resurgent new look Manchester United. He's already in position, standing there, stock still, hooded black coat on, hands in his pockets. And after Erling Haaland's latest hat-trick earlier this afternoon, Arsenal's lead coming into this one, Matt, 2 points.
Interesting, isn't it? How that's going to impact the Arsenal players, whether or not they even care about that at this moment in time. I'm not sure I would if I was in their position. You're all focused on your game, what you have to do to get 3 points today to extend that gap at the top of the table, and also the pride at stake here to beat Manchester United at home in front of your own fans is just massive.
Well, I think this is one of the most keenly anticipated matches that we've had this season. We do say that on a regular basis, but I think it's true to say it today.
I agree. I think it's just a huge fixture in the calendar. When you think of the amount of Premier League titles these two teams have won, 16 of the first 21 Premier League titles to either of these sides, just shows you the magnitude of this fixture.
Those were the days. Not like that anymore, but they're both right up there this season. Arsenal is the leaders and Manchester United currently in 4th place in the table. So the two captains have met in the centre circle. Anthony Taylor is the referee, World Cup referee, just a few weeks ago. And the teams, Arsenal, same again: Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey and Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli and Nketiah. And Manchester United, in the absence of Casemiro, they make just the one change. Casemiro suspended, being such an important part of what Manchester United have done, as the listeners to the BBC's World Service join us here at the Emirates Stadium just in time for kick-off. Just run through the Arsenal team, it's the same as last week. And Manchester United with De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez and Shaw, McTominay and Eriksen, Antony, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford and Weghorst. There was word going around that Fred was intended to play, but there's been a problem, and that's why McTominay is in the team. But Erik ten Hag will tell us about that later. What's important is that McTominay is in there making his first start in the Premier League since Manchester United were well beaten at Manchester City in the autumn, back at the start of October. There's the whistle from Anthony Taylor, and Arsenal against Manchester United begins here with the visitors kicking off in their white shirts with the black trim, black shorts and white socks, and immediately Luke Shaw shielding the ball from Xhaka, and it's played out of play off him in the end for a throw into Manchester United, says referee Taylor.
Did you see Xhaka then? I mean, the start of this game, he came steaming out to Luke Shaw, and his appeal for the throw, I mean, it's just a throw-in on this side here. He was arms up in the air. He looks right up for this game, Granit Xhaka.
Here's Partey bringing it through the middle to Nketiah. Now it comes back to Xhaka. Now out to the left-hand side to Martinelli. Up against Wan-Bissaka. Gets the... No, he doesn't get the cross in. Well played, Wan-Bissaka. Stuck out a right foot and blocked it behind for a corner.
The Wan-Bissaka doing what he does so well, defending in those 1v1 situations. I think that's a massive strength of his. Does really well. He's going to have a few of those to deal with this afternoon.
Wan-Bissaka, who's come in from the cold. This is his 7th start in the last 9 matches. There's only 7 starts this season. Corner to Arsenal. It's a poor one. Martinelli mishit it. and it was easily cleared away by Bruno Fernandes at the near post. And Arsenal, in their first choice colours, red shirts with the white sleeves, white shorts and red socks, have it again with Saka. Lovely play from Saka on the halfway line. Partey then in field, the captain Odegaard takes it up. Odegaard, square from him, and then Zinchenko rolls it to the left of Martinelli, throws it back. Odegaard with a shot, and he mishit it. It was blocked by McTominay in any case, and it came back to him, and he's been able to win a corner, a second consecutive corner for Arsenal. What a move that was!
Confidence oozing out of Arsenal there. Started with Xhaka. The way he turned, under pressure in his own half to start that attack was brilliant.
They take this corner short, play it back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko cuts back onto his right foot, stabs it into the area to Xhaka. Xhaka's low ball across, and a near post effort from Partey, who whipped it left foot, but well wide of the near post actually by 2 or 3 yards.
Well, it's a rapid start from Arsenal. It really is. Quality, intensity with their play, lovely movement. Odegaard, Zinchenko, the ability to find those little passes outside the boot, flicking it round the corner into space, runners off the ball. Really have started brightly.
Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. 5 Live, the World Service. Listen to the radio, the live radio via BBC Sounds as well. And Arsenal playing from left to right in the first half towards the clock stand. Rashford is challenged. They enjoyed that, the home supporters down in front of us. Gabriel coming in, and it's out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. Keen students, if you're a regular listener to our commentaries from the Emirates Stadium, you might recognise the slightly different sound that we have when we're down almost at ground level here with the concrete overhang above our heads, as opposed to when we're upstairs. What it means, Matt, is that we're right in next to the Arsenal supporters here as the ball's played back for Arsenal on the edge of their own penalty area, and they're playing out from the back. Ben White is forced to give it away though, unforced error there. Rashford now on the left hand side. Rashford goes to the right, then to the left, then back onto his right in the full back position. Ball stationary, now plays it into Fernandes. Fernandes twisting, turning, might have been caught by Odegaard. No, says referee Taylor, got a good view on that. It was a clean tackle, and then it's up to Martinelli on the halfway line, and Martinelli's taking on Wan-Bissaka. The two of them shoulder to shoulder. He cuts back, still Wan-Bissaka's with him, drops his shoulder, still going into the full back position, still going Martinelli, tries to find a way through, but Wan-Bissaka did well and came out with the ball.
Well, twice now shown his quality in 1v1. Wan-Bissaka is so hard to get round. Lovely body shape of his position, knows where he wants to allow Martinelli to go, and that allows him to control that situation. But start of this game, John, I'm happy if it carries on like this for the next 5 minutes, let alone the rest of the game.
Two confident teams. Arsenal, who've won 15 of their 18 Premier League matches this season. Their only defeat at Old Trafford. And Manchester United looking to do the league double over them as Eriksen is hauled over by Odegaard, and it's a free kick forward and left of the centre circle. Just to go back to Wan-Bissaka, under Erik ten Hag, he had not started a match in any competition this season until the game against Burnley in the Carabao Cup last month, and obviously the injury to Diogo Dalot has been a big factor in that, but he started very promisingly against Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, he brings something very different to Dalot, doesn't he? Dalot likes to get forward, joins in the play probably better than Wan-Bissaka, but defensively, when Wan-Bissaka's on his game and he's confident, he feels comfortable, which he looks like at the moment, he's a very difficult customer to beat on a 1v1 situation.
So it is Arsenal with Odegaard. Bouncing ball, but he's able to get a foot to it and find Nketiah. Arsenal still moving forward, but Xhaka is beaten to it. And Anthony has it on the right hand side. First time he's been into the game really. Scored on his debut against Arsenal in that match in September, if you remember. Ball with Manchester United again. Here's Bruno Fernandes, who's out towards the right hand side. McTominay comes across and then plays it up towards the big man through the middle. Weghorst, his second appearance for Manchester United, on loan from Burnley, having actually put together some very impressive numbers on loan at Besiktas this season. Martinez now playing the ball all the way through the middle, and Ramsdale comes out. Bruno Fernandes made the run. The goalkeeper came out, seemed to catch Bruno Fernandes, who went down. Bruno Fernandes has got up, remonstrated, waving his arms at the referee, and referee Taylor says, goal kick.
Well, the moment I saw that ball played, I did feel it was a little bit of trouble, just because I saw the run from Martinez coming from the right-hand side across the face of Ramsdale. It was an awkward ball for Gabriel to deal with. Nobody touches it. And I think it's just a collision more than anything, John. Both players, Ramsdale and Fernandes, were kind of heading towards the ball. And I think Ramsdale just pulls out at the death, doesn't he? Withdraws a little bit. Yes, he bumps into him, but it's not a foul. And I think it's a good decision from Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, they are. We'll have had a look. Yeah, players swiftly got going again. I think you're right, Matt. He stopped. Ramsdale came forward and then stopped. And actually, he might have got a touch on the ball as well, the goalkeeper.
Maybe. It was a bit of a mishit pass, wasn't it?
Yes,
which I think made it hard to deal with for the two centre-backs.
Yeah, but, promising for United. Ball over the top this time for Manchester United, but Gabriel was under that, and Arsenal are able to clear away. So Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. A high-tempo start here at the Emirates Stadium. Martinez, long and left-footed from him, downfield. Rashford on the chase for this. Ben White, his England squad mate, comes across and is able to get the ball out of play, and it lands bobbling around in amongst all of the woolly hatted heads over to our left. Lots of red and white scarves in there as well, and one spectator stands up and hurls the ball all the way down onto the apron of the pitch, that gently sloping apron here at the Emirates. 0-0, 7 minutes played. Back on the halfway line with Martinez. Manchester City, if you've just switched on and haven't heard already, handsome winners in the earlier match, in the Premier League, our earlier commentary match, by 3-0. Erling Haaland with what is his 4th hat-trick in the Premier League this season. And it finished Leeds United 0, Brentford 0 in what was the Sports Extra commentary match. So the way is clear, and Manchester City proving that they can play with Erling Haaland. As De Gea, that's an unforced error from him. He was passing the ball to a non-existent left back, and the ball bounced out of play right in front of us. Luke Shaw was further down the field. Odegaard plays it infield. That's blocked. Back to Partey. Stabs it to the left-hand side. Martinelli with the ball at the ground. Shoots forward, but got a slice that well wide across the face of goal. I think that was caught by the ball girl, wasn't it?
Good catch as well.
Caught it well.
Solid. Good effort from Martinelli, or shall I say good opportunity for Martinelli. Just gets underneath the ball, doesn't get great contact on it, but the space is there. And I think if you're going to keep going on that 1v1 situation with Wan-Bissaka, if every now and then you just tuck inside, that space can be there, because I think they're expecting him to want to go around the outside all the time, and inside on his right foot can be a really good option for Martinelli.
And that is Matthew Upson with us here on 5 Live and the World Service. First time you and I have been together again since Qatar.
Yes.
Conditions rather different.
Slightly different, isn't it?
Rather different. Although 1 or 2 times in stadiums in Qatar we were feeling slightly chilly, weren't we?
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's a bit of schoolboy error, massively underclubbed the what was needed, John, to keep warm in fully air-conditioned stadiums.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a cold afternoon here in North London. It's been a beautiful day. It's Fernandes is dispossessed by Odegaard. He's claiming he was fouled. Odegaard takes it up towards the edge of the box and then just waits and waits for the run. United haven't cleared. Martinelli finds a position, shoots. That's blocked. And then it's headed away on the edge of the area by Christian Eriksen for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes wasn't happy about that. He already feels that he should have had a penalty at one end. And now he's conceded a free kick in a challenge with, well, Partey was in there. The two of them went to ground. Legs and arms were everywhere. And Bruno Fernandes is quite wound up by this. Gabriel is the Arsenal player who's been called across. Bruno Fernandes has walked away. I think Anthony Taylor will want to speak to him as well, or will he? I'm not sure he will. And even now Bruno Fernandes is walking away, slapping his hands on his thighs.
Well, I think Gabriel's not too happy with the way Fernandes tried to kick out at the ball when they were both on the floor. I think he's making a genuine attempt for the ball, but anyway, Gabriel just stepped up, towered over him, puffed his chest into him just to assert his authority, and Fernandes didn't like it too much.
Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. So free kick from just forward and left of the centre circle. The floodlights just beginning to take effect now. You can see the shadows of the players on the pitch, and Manchester United supporters in that corner Zinchenko hits this high ball in, got a touch off a defender, Varane. Arsenal with it on the right hand side. Gabriel angles it back to the edge of the box, but it takes a deflection and Ben White has to chase it all the way back into his own half with Rashford running after him, and he got there first and played it back to goalkeeper Ramsdale, who was outstanding, wasn't he, last week at Tottenham in our commentary match there with the Arsenal goalkeeper. Saka plays the ball through the legs of an opponent. Xhaka now allows it to run to Martinelli, and Martinelli's ball across the edge of the box. Eriksen saw it, he read it, he stepped in and he prevented it from reaching Nketiah.
And how confident does Bukayo Saka look in this game at the moment? He's made a couple of really big contributions where he's just so calm, the way he can receive the ball, even being fully pressed, he just manoeuvres his body in between the defender and the ball and just rolls himself out of trouble, and then he's got the ability to get his head up and find the right pass as well. It's in really good form for Arsenal.
Yeah, very good form, very impressive at the World Cup as well. And here comes Anthony though for Manchester United down the right wing. Anthony plays it between the two Arsenal men, knocked the ball into the box, then tried to go between them. He went down far too easily there, Anthony, and referee Taylor's not interested in that. Right on the edge of the box, he fell into the area.
Yeah, I don't think the Arsenal fans over that side were too impressed either, were they? The way he went down was very easy. I think it was maybe Zinchenko just recovering, maybe just brushed up against him and straight on the floor Anthony went.
Here is Scott McTominay, tall, number 39 on the back of his white shirt, playing the ball back to Varane, who has a little wander forward with the ball but then turns and gives it back to Wan-Bissaka. Now here is Anthony. Well, you can hear what they think of him. Boos from the Arsenal supporters, not impressed, and gentle chorus of boos again for Anthony. Left-footed ball into the box, but that's easily cleared away by Partey, who was back in there, got a big right foot on that and walloped it to the halfway line where Lisandro Martinez is able to give the ball back to goalkeeper De Gea. We did wonder, didn't we, whether Luke Shaw might have taken up the central defensive duties again today, but he's stuck with Martinez, who played alongside Varane at Selhurst Park on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I maybe thought that Martinez might have gone into midfield when I saw Casemiro wasn't available and Shaw inside and Malacia to start, but I think that's then you're changing a lot of positions, aren't you? And Erik ten Hag, even though Fred's not available to start, has just opted to change the one player and keep everything else the same.
Yeah, Fred is named among the substitutes. Here's Bukayo Saka on the right hand side, two Manchester United men on him. Bruno Fernandes has actually dropped all the way back there with Martinez. Quick throw taken by White. Shaw had to be quick. It is Saka against Shaw. Left-footed ball into the back post, which is put wide by Wan-Bissaka. He sliced it. For a moment there, I thought it was arcing into the top corner of his own net, but it's wide and behind corner.
Well, from the angle where we're sat, John, that looked like that was going to go in the top corner. Doesn't get dealt with from Manchester United. They switch off a little bit of the throw-in. Saka sees the spaces. Good early thought from Ben White to throw the ball in there, and he puts a lovely left-footed cross in swinging, really inviting, but no Arsenal player anywhere near the far post just to tap it in.
Here's the corner then for Arsenal. Martinelli in, up goes McTominay and heads it away unchallenged. Good spring on him there. We just saw one replay, didn't we, of that? Actually, it was more secure than it looked from Wan-Bissaka, I think.
It was a good couple of metres wide, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
He intended that, John.
Swept it.
We'll give him that one.
Yes, he didn't slice it out.
No.
Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0, and stretch from Zinchenko, but Manchester United back in possession on the edge of their own box. Oh, that's a clearance from De Gea that was almost, well, it was cut out by Martinelli, but he couldn't get any control on the header. So Manchester United have got it back.
He's looked a little bit shaky with the ball at his feet, hasn't he, De Gea, when he gets pressed quickly. Not too sure if that speed of decision making, A, finding the right pass, or B, sometimes just abandoning what that is and just put your foot through it and get the ball up the pitch. You've got a target man up there in Weghorst now who can get a hold of it. Sometimes if you're under too much pressure, just go long and play from that.
Manchester United take the ball downfield, but there's an offside flag up, and free kick to Arsenal in front of their own penalty area. There's quite a lot of talk around at the moment, isn't there, about De Gea and his future, and whether he'll get a one-year extension. 32 years old he is now. He sort of veers, doesn't he, from the sublime to the ridiculous from time to time.
You see moments from him that are just incredible, don't you? And then you see other things
that are also incredible.
Yeah, either end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Yes. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0, and Manchester United just in possession of the ball. Before that draw on Wednesday night, they've won 9 in a row. Their best run for 6 years. Martinez, long ball to the edge of the penalty area. That's headed away by Saliba. And Arsenal with Partey, but his pass forward bounces off Rashford to Fernandes. Back to Rashford. Brilliantly beats Partey on his right foot. Shoots low. What a goal! That is terrific from Marcus Rashford. The way that he beat Partey, the way that he took it on, and then right foot, bang! Bent it into the bottom corner beyond Ramsdale. Class. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
What we have just seen here is right out of the top drawer. That is unbelievable play from Marcus Rashford. It really is. I mean, it's a slight mistake from Partey with the tries to make the pass. It gets cut out. But oh my goodness, what he does here, Marcus Rashford, is just simply superb. The shimmy to chop past Partey and then to get his head up, the confident mood that he is in. The strike to the near post. I mean, he must have a yard of space to play with here, down to Ramsdale's right-hand side, which is the near post, as he's cutting in from the left-hand side of the pitch, hits it with his right foot. It's got a little bit of swerve, a little bit of dip on it as well, and the power just takes it straight through into the back of the net. What an absolute cracking goal from Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford scores his 17th goal of the season for Manchester United. He's got 3 of them against Arsenal, the leaders. 2 at Old Trafford in September and 1 here already in this match, which is his 9th goal in his last 9 appearances. And he'll know, won't he, that Erling Haaland's just scored a hat-trick for Manchester City again as Rashford is fouled there by White.
He's hot at the moment. He is hot at the moment, Marcus Rashford. Just skipped past Ben White. I don't think he quite knows how to handle him at the moment, Ben White. Comes inside and he's just getting to everything first. He tries to tackle him and I think just leave a little bit on him, Ben White. But Rashford just too quick.
Just came in, caught him with the sort of swinging second leg, wasn't it, that came in, that sort of scissor motion.
Yeah.
And so it's a yellow card for Ben White. And a free kick for Manchester United, who lead by 1 goal to 0. And Arsenal here, as we said last Sunday, a real test of their title credentials, to use that old phrase. But they came through it last week with flying colours. Not far from here, elsewhere in North London, against Tottenham. But today, 1-0 down now against Manchester United.
Well, the move from Marcus Rashford was just absolutely incredible. It really was. And I think we were talking about him before the game, whether or not he likes the pressure, too much pressure on it. Well, I think that answers the question, John, doesn't it? It doesn't seem too phased that United are relying on him so heavily for goals at the moment.
Zinchenko bringing the ball forward, but Arsenal have suffered this Rashford setback, and Zinchenko runs down a blind alley, and Manchester United are able to clear it away. That also, incidentally, is the first time that Marcus Rashford has scored here in this stadium. First time he's scored away against Arsenal, his 8th appearance here in all competitions. It's worth the wait.
It certainly was. It's not the positivity of it. The moment he skipped past Partey, and he had one thing in his mind, and the way he did that, I couldn't quite see how he got round him. He like chopped the ball one side and then went round the other. It looked like just the way he took the shimmy, moved his hips, really threw him off balance. Really clever piece of play.
So Marcus Rashford making the difference, and that was dynamite. Watch it on Match of the Day 2 tonight. You don't want to miss that. That's one of the best goals of the season, actually.
Yeah. Real technical, top piece of technical play.
Saka into the area on the right-hand side. Saka is able to pull it across to Xhaka, and then Nketiah, rather backing away, got caught underneath it. I think his shot was going high over the top, and he's a little fortunate there that it's hit a Manchester United man and he's run a corner.
Yeah, I think it's good play from Varane, actually, top defending that. could have easily just stayed in the space there, Varane, but saw that Nketiah pulled off and didn't do what a lot of defenders do and stay there. He really got out and put pressure on him.
So it's a corner from the right-hand side. It's the first one they've had from this side, Arsenal. Their fourth corner of the match. Manchester United winning 1-0. Saka's taking this, little steps, and then actually hits it low to the edge of the box. And Martinelli right-footed. He was trying to whip it into the top corner from probably 16 yards, central position, crowded box, but whipped it over the angle of post and bar, wide actually by what, 2 yards.
Yeah, no, nice move, but tough to score from that. And it has to be absolutely spot on, and even then I think De Gea is in that near post space and would probably get a hand to it, but they worked the space really well, created it on the edge of the box with that cut back from the corner.
Arsenal, Manchester United trying to take a short goal kick here, but Eddie Nketiah was running into the penalty area, so referee Taylor has blown his whistle and had a word, and now Wan-Bissaka with the ball on the right hand side, he's uncomfortable, he's been dispossessed by Martinelli, and Martinelli plays it square to Partey. Partey tries to move away from Eriksen successfully, gives it to Martinelli again. Martinelli running at Wan-Bissaka, who's again got a foot in there, and the ball bounces behind it. It's a corner to Arsenal. That's an excellent contest that we're watching over there, Martinelli and Wan-Bissaka.
It's great pressure from Arsenal, but I just do not understand why teams, Man United just go 1-0 up away from home and you're playing the ball short out to Wan-Bissaka, who's 1v1 with Martinelli, and say, go on then, go past him in the right back position. To me that's crazy. I just don't understand why you'd play out in that scenario.
We've had this conversation before, Mark.
Yeah,
we'll have it again.
Well, we will, but it just doesn't make sense, John.
Well, I'm with you. Zinchenko playing it up to the edge of the penalty area. Xhaka blocked back to Zinchenko. Now Odegaard just outside the box. Xhaka's there. Left footed ball across. Headed in! And Nketiah makes it 1-1. Lovely play from Arsenal. And in the end, the cross from Xhaka. And there, unmarked in the middle, a leaping Eddie Nketiah to make it Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
Great run from Eddie Nketiah. Real centre-forward header this. At the back post. He peeled out there. I think it was Wan-Bissaka who found himself on the opposite side defending that back post. And as the second phase comes in, Odegaard plays the ball into Xhaka. It gets set back to him. And it's a lovely little ball inside. Goes on the overlap, cross into the back post, and there's Nketiah, runs off the back of Wan-Bissaka, who does switch off, he just goes to sleep a little bit, the Man United right back, and it's a simple header that gets powered into the back of the net from Nketiah, close range. De Gea, absolutely no chance.
So 1-1, 24 minutes on the clock. And that is it's a match that had a promising start.
Yeah.
It's now delivered goals at both ends. This could be good.
I don't want to bet on about it, but where did that goal stem from, John? You know, those decisions to play out and give away possession, a corner. You've gone 1-0 up away from home against the league leaders, and you're opting to give it to right back for a 1v1 scenario. It seems a bit crazy, and I think that really did lead to the opportunity in the goal.
Well, greater students of the game than you and I will say that in the long run is worth it.
Yeah, no, and I'm all for that. And I love playing with the ball and passing out with the ball. Loved it, but
here's Partey taking the ball on for Arsenal through the middle, who've just made it 1-1. Now here's their goal scorer Nketiah on the left-hand side, who's able to get the crossover, but beyond everyone. And it's landed in the opposite full-back position, the Manchester United left-back area. Odegaard turns, scoops it forward. Saka now, low ball across, and that's cleared away by McTominay, who's there, just came across and was able to lift it out and play for a throw to Arsenal down the right.
Really swung the momentum, hasn't it? Arsenal responded brilliantly to that setback, and like I say, the first few minutes after the Marcus Rashford goal, he was looking so aggressive, so on it, Marcus Rashford, that I think Arsenal just had to take a little backward step and then got their own opportunity, and now he's swung again. This game really is that type of match, isn't it? I think we're going to see a few of these scenarios all the way through to the end of this game, where one team's on top and then the other creates a really exciting atmosphere.
Premier League on 5 Live in the World Service, BBC Sounds, as Weghorst is bundled over by Saliba 5 or 6 yards inside his own half, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. So the lead lasted for 6 minutes. Rashford with that thrilling goal in the 18th and Nketiah in the 24th. So Manchester United's form man, goal scorer, scored for them. For Eddie Nketiah, that's 6 in his last 7 appearances. And now he's Arsenal's joint top scorer again this season in all competitions, 8 goals, alongside Odegaard, who scored last week at Tottenham, and it's 1-1. And Arsenal give it away to Weghorst, who works it to Rashford on the left-hand side. White trying to get there, Rashford cuts back, Odegaard puts in the challenge. The ball's caught up between his knees as he's on the ground. He gets up, comes out with the ball, clears it away to a standing ovation, and then Wan-Bissaka wins a header against Martinelli on the right-hand side. Here's Antony, full of business. Antony gives it to Wan-Bissaka, black gloves on, passes infield to Fernandes, and now Manchester United nearer the halfway line with Christian Eriksen. Martinez is rolling the ball now out towards the left-hand side. Rashford tried to take it on past White, tried a little trick there, didn't come off. White blocked it away, ball downfield for Saka to chase. He's up against Varane. Varane gets there, but Saka got to the ball first. Now it's Nketiah it was, got to the ball first. Now infield, Odegaard is challenged by Martinez. That's a clean challenge, says referee Taylor. Martinez through the middle to Weghorst. Out it goes to the right-hand side to Antony. Weghorst making ground through the middle. Antony to the edge of the box. Square from him. McTominay with his shot, and that's a diving save to his left to push it away with both gloves by Ramsdale.
Wow, what a passage of play. Need a breather after that one. End-to-end stuff here at the Emirates. Brilliant football, counter-attacking, counter-attacking. I mean, the way the teams are ebbing and flowing, going at each other is brilliant to see, and that's a decent save from Aaron Ramsdale off that attack from Manchester United. But yeah, a lot going on, a lot of energy, a lot of action in this game.
Might even have been counter.
Possibly. I couldn't counter that far back.
Very good. 1-1 the score. Almost half an hour played. It's absolutely zipped by Manchester United after that Ramsdale save from McTominay, shot from the edge of the box. This is United's first corner, but referee Taylor is still involved in high-level talks inside the 6-yard box with the big men in there. And here is the corner then, left-footed in and headed up and away by Gabriel. Ball on the edge of the box, it's nipped back by Eriksen. Here's Rashford again. Rashford goes down rather theatrically, and in fact there's an offside flag up against Manchester United, so it's a free kick to Arsenal in front of their own area. So 1-1 is the score. Rashford for Manchester United and Nketiah for Arsenal, and it's been tremendous so far. You'll be able to talk about it with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton later on 606. I'll let you know when the lines are open. Read about it on the football pages of the BBC website. Match of the Day 2 for the highlights tonight on BBC One, the Women's Football Show after that. Live Football Daily podcast in the morning, subscribe free from BBC Sounds, and every week this month, every weekday this month, also there is the 5 Live Transfer Gossip Daily podcast to download. Been a busy month, and we believe that Arsenal's next signing, Jakub Kiwior, the Polish international, you and I saw him at the World Cup, is in the stands, probably in the next level above us, watching this. They're about to sign him, round about £20 million. Central defender, can play in midfield, good age as well, 22 years old. And Trossard is among the substitutes today, in case you hadn't heard that when we mentioned it earlier. So 1-1, Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. They wanted Mudryk, of course, didn't they? Who looked
good, didn't he?
Very good.
You can see why they wanted him.
Yeah, you can. As Arsenal have it inside their own half. Here's Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Half-time, we'll have more on Manchester City's 3-0 win against Wolves, the latest Haaland hat-trick, and Leeds against Brentford as well. So I'll let you know in due course who you might be able to hear from at half-time. But Arsenal playing it through the middle. Here's Martinelli now. Martinelli taking it on towards the edge of the box. He's got Nketiah to his left. Tried to slip it through, but it was blocked by Varane. Comes back to Xhaka. Goal maker Xhaka. today with his cross for the Nketiah header. Now Saka on the right hand side, Saka against Shaw, who stands off and little ball into the box. Martinelli tried to give him it back, only half cleared. Arsenal still in the area with Odegaard now drives it across into the knees of McTominay, and it bounces behind. In fact, there's an offside flag in there, and it's Manchester United's ball.
I don't think you see many teams in the Premier League who are better at these little intricate triangle passes and movement in the 18-yard box than Arsenal. You know, when you've got Saka and Odegaard and Nketiah facing it up with Martinelli the other side, just the way they move off each other and find these little triangles and moves and runs off the ball and lofted passes. I love the way Odegaard just lifts those balls, doesn't he? He can't find a through ball on the ground, so he just scoops it over a defender's head. It's very clever to watch.
1-1 the score, and the ball just rolling out of play next towards Mikel Arteta. Christian Eriksen is the Manchester United player there, and it's all smiles and yes, very good. And Luke Shaw has arrived on the scene to take this throw in. Everyone's enjoying it, Matt.
Yeah, smiles all round.
Yes, it is. So throw-in is taken. Manchester United go back to Varane inside his own half. Manchester United took the lead. Arsenal levelled. Arsenal have won 7 out of 8 home matches in the Premier League this season. The only team that has got anything here in the league this season, Newcastle, in the previous home match, the 0-0 draw, has Partey and White are passing the ball out of from the back. Saka was being leaned into. He definitely had hands on his back there. Goes down.
He's going for the pocket.
And Mikel Arteta, I think, has spoken out of turn here. It's a yellow card for Mikel Arteta. Well, Anthony Taylor was insistent there, and I mean, it was in front of his technical area. But his reaction, whatever's happened there, and the fourth official is Andre Mariner, experienced guy, and whether he said something to Anthony Taylor. Anyway, whatever, he's crossed the line there, and it's a yellow card.
Do you not think that's been brewing for a few games, though, John? You know, whether or not Arteta's activity on the touchline has been a talking point amongst the referees. It wouldn't surprise me, John, to be honest, because that is too much. But that's been going on game after. I mean, this isn't as bad as what I can't remember the last game. Was it Newcastle? I was here.
It was Newcastle.
Unbelievable.
The handball at the end.
He was unbelievable in that game.
Well, ball played over the top. Varane is able to get it down and volleys it away to the halfway line, where Gabriel plays it forward, and Manchester United have got it back inside their own half. I know there were plenty who felt that was over the top.
It was, and I think they're trying to just make a bit of a point of, like, you know, needs to be toned down a little bit. You can't be that energetic or in the face of fourth officials or anyone else for that matter.
Strangely enough, I did have a look yesterday just to double check to see if he'd actually been sent off this season, Mikel Arteta. But there it is, the yellow card for him, so he's got to be on his best behaviour now. Eriksen playing the ball out towards the right hand side. Actually, Zinchenko couldn't get there, and it's bounced all the way to Anthony, who goes for a first time pass through, just a little short with the delivery from Anthony. He was looking for Wan-Bissaka, so Zinchenko is able to slide in, but Anthony is now weaving a run in field from the right hand side. Went past 2 men, but Xhaka was the final line there. He was able to put in the challenge. Arsenal on the edge of their own box still, cleared away by Gabriel to the halfway line, and then Martinez is in position to just lift the ball left-footed back to De Gea, all in black, who rather daintily waits for the ball to arrive on his right instep and passes it carefully past Nketiah. And eventually it's returned to the Manchester United goalkeeper. 10 minutes to go to half-time, and at the break, amongst other things, you will hear from Manchester City's Pep Guardiola, Julian Lopetegui of Wolves, and Jesse Marsh of Leeds. They're all coming up at half-time. What sort of mood Pep Guardiola will have been in today after what was quite an animated speech that he made, wasn't it, in the media conference the other day after their comeback against Tottenham. Currently Manchester City are 2 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal 47 points, played 18. Manchester City 45, having played now 20. Here's Nketiah in field towards Zinchenko, and then back to the left hand side, comes back to Partey, and Zinchenko will come across and take it up, and then slip the ball in between Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, and Arsenal are able to get the ball to the right-hand side, and Ben White stretches his legs down the right wing. Saka now takes it on. Ben White making a run. Saka with the cross. It comes off Luke Shaw in the box, bounces behind for a corner. Seemed to be hesitancy as to whether they were going to give that as a corner.
I think they're complaining that it hit Ben White, who made the run across. It'd be interesting to see on the replay if we get to see it. Just have a look at the replay of Mikel Arteta, and I think the reason why he possibly received that yellow card, as he walks away shaking his head, but I think they're arguing that may have well hit Ben White, John, before it went out for the corner.
Okay. Well, it is a corner. Saka takes 3-4 steps away. 1-1 the score. And Saka waiting to take this. Right foot in front of left. And then the delivery, the near post, that's bounced a long way through everyone, whether in white or red, and into the full-back position, where Wan-Bissaka is able to chase over there and clear it away, right-footed. And now here's Nketiah. Nketiah's ball forward, but that's blocked on the edge of the area, and then Nketiah absolutely slides in with a proper tackle on McTominay, and a clean tackle as well. And Saka is able to find White, but then Bruno Fernandes slides in with a good challenge of his own to take the ball cleanly. And now Anthony sprinting over the halfway line, passes it forward to Rashford, but it bounced away from the Manchester United number 10, and that meant that Gabriel could just pop it back to goalkeeper Ramsdale, and the ball's out of play offshore for a throw-in on the halfway line.
Yeah, looked pretty straightforward and easy that for Gabriel, but it actually was made to look like that because I think he saw that space in behind that Marcus Rashford wanted the ball into. He saw it early and just drifted across his position very early on. Good centre-back play just to read that situation, got his body in and was able to get to the ball first, because anything other than that, with space in behind against Marcus Rashford at the moment, you're in a little bit of trouble.
Nketiah, throwing taken to him, he chested it down, and Martinez, who was right behind him, was just to have tripped him over, so it's a free kick to Arsenal on the right-hand side. Often talk about centre-forwards tackles, but Nketiah's tackle was a very good one.
Excellent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes has done his corner.
Yeah. That goal that Nketiah has scored, by the way, mentioned the fact it's the first time that Rashford has scored here against Arsenal. That was actually Nketiah's first goal against Manchester United in his 7th appearance. So 1-1 it is, and highly entertaining. Mikel Arteta steps forward again, slightly chastened after his yellow card. Ben White is beaten by Anthony, who's still over here on the left-hand side. Ben White just bounces into Anthony, and Anthony again just keeps the ball and then sets it away for Bruno Fernandes, who's off down the left-hand side. Rashford allows it to run to Eriksen. Eriksen then back to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes curling it in, right-footed, but at head height. Xhaka was able to move across and head it behind, and it bounced out of play for was that a corner or a throw?
It's a throw-in. But lovely play from Manchester United in a tight area by the touchline. Bruno Fernandes, lovely movement and ability to run round and see the space in behind, but there's been some really good play in this game, hasn't there? I know it's been high tempo, a lot of tackles and what you'd expect from this type of affair, but some top technical play as well.
Confident teams, confident players.
Absolutely.
Manchester United with the ball in the centre circle, and here's Christian Eriksen playing it back to Varane. Black gloves on, milder weather on the way. Here's Martinez back to Varane again, and Varane just shifts it forward and then knocks it up to Wan-Bissaka, who's almost in a central midfield role. Wan-Bissaka, just the way that he is at the moment, but United go back towards the halfway line. Bruno Fernandes now rolling a pass out towards Eriksen, just forward of the centre circle. Arsenal just sitting off them at the moment, and now here's Anthony, who's back on the right-hand side, left-footed ball into the box, but that just bounces through harmlessly to Ramsdale, who underarms it out for Partey, and Partey now over the halfway line. He's got men in red either side of him going forward, but he cuts back, checks back, and Manchester United drones there. Manchester United can actually win possession back.
He's got to pass it earlier, John. I mean, the moment he held on to it too long, the moment had gone, but just even sliding that ball in behind Luke Shaw for Saka would have been better than what he did. At least it would force Luke Shaw back maybe even just to put the ball out for a throw-in and get Arsenal up the pitch.
Instead, Manchester United, took it all the way down the left wing with Marcus Rashford, who returns it centrally, and again Arsenal have dropped back in position, allowing Manchester United to have the ball. When Arsenal lost at Old Trafford in September, they had 61% possession in that game, also had more attempts on goal, 16 to Manchester United's 10, but Arsenal were beaten 3-1 that day. Here's Varane through to the edge of the box to Weghorst, who attempted to lay it off, but there's an offside flag possibly against Weghorst, and it's a free kick to Arsenal on the edge of their own box. Matt Upson,
lovely little dummy there. I think it was from Bruno Fernandes, allowing that ball to run through to Weghorst, who has been okay in this first half. I don't think he's really slotted in perfectly with the way the game's gone, that slick movement. He's showing himself as that kind of bounce board, but nothing's really coming into him, and is able to lay off or stick anything in and around the box, whether that's due to the fact Arsenal have defended very well. I think Saliba and Gabriel have been excellent in this first half at just trying to control that area of the pitch and not allow Weghorst to affect the play.
They've become quite the established partnership, haven't they, in your old position?
Yeah, they've been very good. I think today just kind of is a good example of how solid they've been this season.
Poor ball out from Ramsdale, though. That sails away above Ben White's head, and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United near the halfway line. Half-time approaching. We hear from Pep Guardiola. More questions to answer about another hat-trick for Erling Haaland. How very predictable as the ball bounces across the edge of the Arsenal box. Partey is in danger of losing it. One Arsenal fan down in front of us shouts away, just fearful that Arsenal weren't going to get it away, but they did, and now it's headed forward for United. McTominay wins a header on the halfway line. Here's Martinelli. He made a very bright start to the game, Martinelli, but Arsenal were thrown slightly off kilter by a brilliant goal from Marcus Rashford, which gave them the lead, but Arsenal fought quickly back and equalised through Eddie Nketiah's header, and it is Arsenal in possession. Over to the number 6, Gabriel, and now Zinchenko more centrally. Here's Xhaka, takes it on, and low ball across the Manchester United box is cleared away, hooked away by the right foot of Martinez. Luke Shaw inside his own penalty area. Saka very close to him. Bruno Fernandes is out here on the Manchester United left. Rashford is dispossessed. Free kick is given for what is a foul on Rashford, and Saka and Shaw chasing one another when the whistle's already gone, and it's a free kick.
Just too much from Ben White. Pressure from behind. I mean, it isn't a lot. I actually think Marcus Rashford buys that foul. I don't think there's enough contact from Ben White to knock him down, but Marcus Rashford very clever in just taking that little bump and going over, just buys it with the referee. But that for me is one of the main differences from Arsenal this season, John. The way they press there, Odegaard all the way in, Saka in, and Nketiah in, then the right back or the left back, depending on what side they're in, Zinchenko or White, they're all the way in, pressurising teams to win the ball back in their attacking third, and I think that is something that Arsenal have become very, very good at.
Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. So Manchester United with this free kick, but that foul on Rashford, and Martinez eventually takes it and plays it the other way back to goalkeeper De Gea, and then it's back to Martinez and back to De Gea, who passes it out to Shaw. Ben White not far away, and Shaw's pass.
They've lost again, John.
It is. They've lost possession. Arsenal have won it back. Misplaced pass from Shaw. 2 minutes of added time. Xhaka now to the left-hand side to Martinelli. Manchester United backing off. Low ball in from Zinchenko all the way through the penalty area, beyond Eddie Nketiah, and through for a goal kick.
Well, he looks to the sky, Nketiah, because he knows if he just anticipates this a fraction earlier, he's going to get on the end of it. It's a bit of a miscue from Zinchenko as the ball gets set back to him from Martinelli from that left-sided position, and it's one of those dragged shots that goes past the far post where Nketiah is, and if he just anticipates it, it's a simple tap-in.
It's a 1-1 goal kick for Manchester United. Eriksen takes it on, but Arsenal are there in numbers. However, Anthony, appearing again on the left-hand side, is able to win possession back. Then Rashford square to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes sprays it out to the right hand side to Wan-Bissaka, who chests it down, lost it. Then Wan-Bissaka is challenged inside the box. Referee says play on. He was very certain there, Anthony Taylor, that there wasn't a question that Aaron Wan-Bissaka had a case for a penalty, and Arsenal have just knocked the ball back to goalkeeper Ramsdale. Ben White with the pass. Arsenal coming forward. Just a collision of bodies, wasn't it, between
Martinelli, wasn't it? Coming back on
Wan-Bissaka. Now it's Arsenal passing the ball out from the back. Martinelli might have felled Bruno Fernandes, however, on the slide he found the ball in field, and now it's up towards Odegaard, and Odegaard to the right hand side to Saka in added time at the end of the first half. Saka shoots into the body of Shaw, comes back to the Arsenal man. Saka with the ball on the ground, Shaw in front of him, curls it across, he's blocked that as well, Shaw. It's headed by Eriksen straight into the path of Partey, still bouncing for Arsenal. Zinchenko's in there, might come to Saka with a shot, but Shaw threw himself in front of it, deflected it down into the ground, up into the air, and it was caught above his head by De Gea, and that is the end of a thoroughly entertaining first half here at the Emirates. 1-1 the score, Matt Upson.
Yeah, 1-1, but the match has certainly lived up to the billing. To be honest, it's been a brilliant first half of football. Excellent play, great atmosphere, high tempo, high stakes as well, and the players have showed why they're in this position, and Manchester United have shown why they're on the current run that they are on, because they're in good form. They've got players who are confident. The goal from Marcus Rashford, I agree, I think that's up there, one of the best goals I've seen this season. And yeah, more in the second half, please.
Yeah, super goal from Rashford. Beat Partey brilliantly. He ran forward, cutting him from the left, and then hit the shot from 22, 23 yards with a bit of swerve into the bottom corner. A fascinating fact, Marcus Rashford had not scored in his last 26 Premier League away matches when he started the game. Wow. But he has here today, and how. Yeah. That was the way to break that particular dam. But 6 minutes later, Eddie Nketiah equalised with that header. So Arsenal won, Manchester United won at half-time, and a very difficult match to call which way it'll go in the second half. Yes, settle down everyone, whether you're in your car or in the bath or wherever you are. Arsenal won, Manchester United won, and as Chris Sutton said, as Matt Upson said at the end of the first half, this is very difficult to predict what will happen next. But what is happening next is that Arsenal have suffered a setback, it would seem, because Ben White's not come out for the start of the second half. So Takahiro Tomiyasu, the Japanese World Cup player, has come on to replace him, and he, Matt, has gone to the right-hand side, so he's playing over on the right.
Yeah, it looks that way, John. I mean, whether or not Ben White had a muscle problem or some kind of issue, I know he'd been booked and was actually, involved in quite a lot of scenarios, wasn't he, up against Marcus Rashford and later on Anthony, but I can only assume that he has some kind of problem because he's been such a regular starter and finisher for Arsenal this season.
So it is Tomiyasu who is on. I'll run through the teams in full in a moment or two, but he's on the ball now, plays the ball out to the left-hand side to Martinelli, and then Xhaka is claiming that he's been fouled, and I mean, McTominay was right there with him, very, very tight, and Xhaka was stepping back with his arms in the air as if to suggest that he was being pulled or being held by McTominay. Referee Taylor didn't give that as a free kick, and now Anthony's gone down, and he has won a free kick for Manchester United, which has not gone down well with the dozens and dozens of Arsenal fans who are just still making their way back to their seats to our left down the gangway here. So 1-1 the score, Matt Upson sitting next to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be happy with that. It was a clumsy challenge from Granit Xhaka, came across, he just puts his arm across Anthony. It takes minimal contact for him to go down, but you can't just put your arm across an opponent as they're trying to run past you. You're always going to get penalised for it.
And Weghorst is penalised now, free kick to Arsenal. So 1-1 the score. Arsenal there's a foul on Zinchenko by Bruno Fernandes, who is imploring the referee not to pull out a yellow card for Anthony, but he has. And what is Fernandes saying there? Is he saying that he was allowing the ball to run, or
I'm not too sure?
What? Oh no, he's saying that he's saying that Anthony stepped on his foot, not Zinchenko. The two United players both came in on the challenge at the same time with their feet. and Zinchenko was between them, went down, yellow card Anthony.
I think the point he's making is correct. He did stand on his foot, but both of them did scythe Zinchenko down at the same time as well. So it could have been either one of them in the book, really.
Yeah, lovely footwork from Weghorst. Allows the ball to run to Anthony. Anthony plays it into the box, but got too heavy a touch on that, and Partey was able to come across. But under pressure from Anthony, Partey has run it out for what is a Manchester United corner.
Great defensive run from Thomas Partey, but I'm not convinced with Anthony in terms of his pace, John. Great situation for a player in that wide area. That's where you want that drive and that power to get across the defender and hold it on goal. He just doesn't seem to have that in his legs. And Thomas Partey, really dominant run, good defensive run from the middle of the park to get across and just snuff that chance out.
So Luke Shaw to take this corner for Manchester United. Left footed to the near post, cleared away. Nketiah, who is back in there. Ball's being played up for Bukayo Saka, and Saka trying to bring it downfield with Manchester United players all around him. He's able to find space and give it to Nketiah, who's now bursting out from his own half. But United are there again. Martinez puts in the challenge. It runs to Saka. Great applause for Saka's play in this move. Comes to Odegaard. He's going to try a cross left-footed towards the back post from the angle. Wan-Bissaka was able to get up and get his head to it. Down with Xhaka though. Then back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko takes it on, clips it to the back post. That's headed away by Martinez, headed further away by McTominay. Still United haven't cleared it, and actually it's come down to Gabriel on the edge of the box, who was challenged, went down. Home fans want a penalty. Odegaard shoots, that's blocked on the edge of the box, and McTominay is able to clear downfield. It's a heavyish challenge.
It was
on Gabriel.
It was, but you felt that Gabriel was looking for that contact, wasn't he? Maybe that was in the referee's mind when he looked at it, but there was certain contact. Whether or not it was in the box as well, John, it was right on the edge of the 18-yard area.
It was. So 1-1 the score. Arsenal with Ramsdale in goal. Now Tomiyasu as the right back, the substitute. Saliba and Gabriel. Zinchenko at left back. Partey and Xhaka in the middle. Saka on the right. Odegaard behind Nketiah. Martinelli on the left. And Manchester United on the back foot because Saka is running the ball in field from the right-hand side. Shaw went with him, finds its way to Martinelli now. Martinelli against Wan-Bissaka, goes for the byline, pulls the ball across, but Varane was in the right place there and was able to half-volley it away. And Anthony, far too casual. Roy was fortunate there, and then Zinchenko runs into him, bounces off him, falls off the field, and it's a Manchester United throw.
Well, one of the few times there that Martinelli's been able to face up Wan-Bissaka and just get around the outside of him quite comfortably. There's no trickery involved, just the plain old slow the defender down, just slow it, and then a little burst of pace in a straight line was enough just to get around Wan-Bissaka.
That is Matthew Upson, England World Cup player, Premier League defender, former Arsenal man. We've not seen the replay yet, have we, on that?
No.
That challenge on Gabriel on the edge of the box, so we'll just have to go with the naked eye. Arsenal were behind for 6 minutes. Marcus Rashford's brilliant goal. Odegaard swings a ball out to the left-hand side. How did he see that pass?
Brilliant.
Zinchenko is able to take it on, strikes it cleanly. You can see the spray off the surface of the grass as he hit that, Zinchenko, but Manchester United were able to clear. Lines are open for 606, by the way, to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton tonight again. 08 085 909 693 is the number to call, and 85058 to book your call, or hashtag BBC 606 to get involved. But the lines are open for the 5 Live football phone-in. So 5 Live, BBC World Service listeners are with us as well. And you can listen to the radio as well via BBC Sounds if you're on the move. Here's Nketiah through the middle. McTominay puts in the challenge. Odegaard is able to take up the loose ball. He's able to flick it through into the area for Xhaka's run, but then the covering challenge was there from Martinez, who came across the edge of the 6-yard box and put in a crucial tackle challenge to put it behind.
Well, we just touched on Martin Odegaard's vision to see that pass, but what he's just produced there, John, on the move, well, I can't even quite explain it. It's just a one-legged flick of some kind that just finds the pass. What a piece of trickery from Martin Odegaard.
Running scoop,
wasn't it? I mean, it's more of a flick, wasn't it? It's like a flip-flap on the move where he's just checked the ball, but how he's found the pace of it. It was a brilliant covering tackle from Martinez, needed to get there.
It was. Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. And Arsenal again took the corner short, haven't got into the penalty area yet, but Saka! Oh, what a shot! What a goal! 2-1 Arsenal! That is a touch of brilliance from the Arsenal number 7, from 25 yards given the angle, through a crowd of players and low into the far bottom corner to put Arsenal in front 2-1.
Well, we've seen it from Marcus Rashford, we've now seen it from Bukayo Saka. Piece of individual brilliance. He's been outstanding all game for me. The confidence, the quality. You know a player is in great form when every time they get the ball they have time on the ball. Doesn't make rash choices, manoeuvres himself brilliantly, and this is classic Saka from that position on the right hand side. Is 1v1, shifts it inside, and I'm not even sure if that shot's on, John. He's hit it from nowhere, really. Tiny gap, smashes it across the face of De Gea. It's Christian Eriksen who gets out to the ball, but the quality and precision that he hits this shot. It's a foot inside the far post, skips off the wet turf into the bottom corner. Brilliant goal from Bukayo Saka.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1. The leaders were 1-0 down in the first half. Now they're 2-1 up. And if I can describe that, from the position that we're watching here, Saka is cutting in from the far side, on his left foot, and it's hard to know how he saw that.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even on. You know, it doesn't look like the shot's on. It's not like he's close to the 18-yard box either, John. He must have been, 25 yards out, possibly? Is that far away from the 18-yard box? It's not like he's cutting in from a close range and is well within shooting distance. He's a long way out, but the strike is absolutely sublime.
Yeah, the cleanest of strikes on his left foot. It's his 8th of the season, so he's joined the top scorers again. Arsenal's joint top scorers this season, 8 in all competitions. That's his 3rd goal since the World Cup, where he, remember, did score 3 goals for England in Qatar. And he was involved in both goals, remember, last Sunday against Tottenham. This time on the score sheet himself. And how? What a match. 2-1 Arsenal, but this is great work on the left-hand side from Rashford, who's still going and shoots, and Ramsdale got a touch on that to deflect it across the 6-yard box. For a moment there I thought it was going to drop into the far side of the goal, but Arsenal cleared. Anthony now on the right-hand side, left-footed shot, but miss-hit that. That was not up to the standard of Rashford and Saka's goal-bound efforts in this match, but Rashford there at the other end very nearly found a way through.
Well, it actually looked like a brilliant save from Ramsdale, which was a reaction, because I think the ball deflected before it got to Ramsdale, didn't it? Skimmed off someone. Ramsdale with a really quick reaction save, just managed to get enough on it to see the ball wide.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1. Bukayo Saka scored his 3rd successive match against Manchester United, so both games this season. Scored here last season against Manchester United when Arsenal won by 3 goals to 1, and despite that win and the way that they finished last season, no one saw them doing this season. Top of the table currently by 2 points, and with this scoreline would go 5 points clear again. We'll play at Manchester City on Friday night in the FA Cup. All over the top for United, but that was headed away by Tomiyasu, and then it's a throw-in that's won by Partey on the far side for Arsenal.
I just feel like Tomiyasu has got one job in the remaining 34 minutes of this game. He has to keep a handle on Marcus Rashford. I've just seen that save again from Aaron Ramsdale, John. What a save that is.
Yeah, you've called that.
Deflection through the legs. I think it's Saliba as the shot comes in. It's close range as well, and with his left hand gets down low and just manages to get a forearm on the ball. It's a brilliant save from Ramsdale, and Tomiyasu, he has got 35 minutes to just get Marcus Rashford, allow him to have the ball in areas where he feels is comfortable for the team and for himself. I don't think you're going to be able to dominate him today, as he's such good, confident form. but he's got to try and contain him.
Slightly ominously, Matt, you've teed that up by saying he's got one job. feel like that could come back to you had one job. You had one job.
It's been said a few times, isn't it? Yeah, I've had that one said to me before, don't worry.
In the home scenario, possibly.
Yeah.
As well as on the football.
Absolutely.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 1. Lines are open for 606. Got a couple of fine goals to talk about. And you can see them on Match of the Day 2 tonight with Mark Chapman and co. But here come Manchester United, 2-1 down now in the match. And here is Wout Weghorst carrying the ball forward, plays it out, rolling across the Emirates turf to the left-hand side to Shaw, finds Fernandes in the box, back to Shaw, who is being followed by Tomiyasu, who did well, locked it behind, corner to Manchester United from the left this time.
Big pressure Manchester United are applying at the moment. They feel they've got the momentum and ascendancy in this game. Arsenal are now got to be careful they don't slip into that mode of protecting that lead and just dropping off a little bit. They've started the second half such on the front foot, Arsenal. Since that goal, it always just slightly affects that mindset.
Manchester United corner then, to be taken from the far side, around that area where all of the Manchester United away fans are. In it comes, Ramsdale comes, gets hands to it, headed it, oh it's in! Martinez threw himself forward and headed it up and over everyone in the box. Defenders there, they couldn't get there and it dropped in, and it's Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2, and Lisandro Martinez, one of the World Cup winners, has scored his first goal for Manchester United to bring it level.
Well, just after we're giving Aaron Ramsdale massive praise for that reaction left-hand save moments ago, we see him come for a ball here and he just doesn't get there through all the bodies. There's too many bodies in front of him, all his own players, 4 Arsenal shirts on the 6-yard box line. Ramsdale comes, he tries to catch it, perhaps that's the wrong option. He's never going to have control to get hold of the ball, which means he parries it straight down, and that's a really brave header. And not only that, when you look at the way Martinez heads that ball, he doesn't just dive and head the ball, he really does head the ball upwards just to lift it over whoever was on the line. I couldn't see who it was, but there was a player on the line and he just nods it up in the air. It's a clever header from Martinez, a real reaction header, but he knows exactly what he's doing.
Got that black headband on, Martinez. Despite that, he actually did have to throw himself in. There was a boot right in front of him, a defender there. He headed it from what, about hip height, diving forward. I think it was Gabriel on the line, but it was over his head, under the crossbar. Got his head to it, Gabriel, but couldn't stop it from contacting the top of his head and ended up in the back of the net.
He had to think quickly, Martinez, didn't he? Because if the ball bounced to him, out of nowhere, and you have that little split second to think, how am I going to head this? And he just gets it spot on.
But you're right, the Arsenal goalkeeper Ramsdale, who came for it in amongst a whole group of players. He was trying to catch it rather than punching it.
Yeah.
It's not often we say that, is it?
No.
The goalkeeper should have punched it rather than try to catch it, but that proved to be the downfall.
He was overstretching, wasn't he? The ball was never level enough for him to be able to get both hands on it and get a solid catch on the ball. He was always stretching too far out with his left hand. The punch would have been a far better offer. Even if it's a poor punch, John, it goes to the penalty spot or to the edge of the 18-yard box. It is further away than dropping 8 yards out.
Ball back with Ramsdale now, who has Christian Eriksen closest to him, and Rashford now closes down the attempted clearance over there on the far side from Saliba, and Manchester United force the ball out for a throw into Arsenal, level with the edge of their own penalty area. So that equaliser, Martinez's equaliser to make it 2-2, came, I make it 6 minutes after Arsenal took the lead. So in the first half, United took the lead. 6 minutes later, Arsenal were level. In the second half, Arsenal took the lead. Within 6 minutes, Manchester United were level.
Well,
and that backs up the nature of the match.
Yeah, and the stats at half-time as well. I think 49 to 51% possession, both with 2 shots on target, exact same number of passes per team in the first half. Just shows you how tight this affair is.
McTominay playing the ball across the penalty area, but behind Big Weghorst. And Arsenal with Tomiyasu, who's been put under pressure by Rashford, and Rashford has put in the challenge, and Rashford's won the ball back from Tomiyasu. He had one job. Rashford now running across the edge of the box, but then Anthony couldn't take it on, and Arsenal bring it away. Partey plays it off Weghorst, and the referee spotted a foul on Partey by Weghorst, so free kick to Arsenal. Well, Tomiyasu very nearly.
He only had the one job.
Yeah, that one job.
He just tried to hold on to the ball too long, really. It wasn't so much as trying to guide Marcus Rashford anywhere, it was just what to do with the ball. It was a tricky situation. And just the way Rashford pressurised him, stole the ball, and then just got the confidence and the strength in his body to then try and manoeuvre, very nearly manoeuvres himself inside the pitch and gets a right-footed shot off.
So 2-2 the score. And here's Zinchenko for Arsenal, playing it forward to Martinelli in the box on the left-hand side. Martinelli's ball back to Odegaard on the edge of the box. In came the challenge from Eriksen, and the ball bounces away, runs away to the far side, where Luke Shaw will take it on, and Luke Shaw's pass forward. Rashford must be in an offside position. No flag yet. Rashford's taking it on. He's challenged by Tomiyasu. The flag still doesn't come. Well, you'd have said that, but it's Gary Bezic who's the assistant here, who's one of the best.
Yeah.
He's looked offside to
certainly
us.
did.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. And Zinchenko, Weghorst tried to get there, but Zinchenko just popped the pass to Odegaard. And now here is Saka. Saka into the area. Saka plays it across, and on the edge of the box, and Nketiah got to the ball and got a touch on it, but it was deflected behind, or was it? No, it's a goal kick that's been given.
It's a goal kick. I mean, Saka, Luke Shaw is just backing off, allowing him far too much space. Saka, so comfortable driving into the box. He's not even driving, he's strolling into the box. He's had time to see Nketiah. It's good defending, because I think Varane gets the block.
Was that?
It was a great chance, but Varane gets across, gets the block in, then it ricochets back onto Nketiah, out for a goal kick. But I've been impressed with Varane's positioning on those situations. He doesn't allow space, even when players pull off him. I love the fact that he comes out of that space, which feels comfortable, and goes and gets tighter with his man. It's top level defending.
Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. But Saka, every time he gets the ball, we said it last week in the Tottenham match, it's the same here today.
Yeah.
You know, he is the young man with, well, the world at his feet, really. You saw what he did at the World Cup, so confident. One of England's best players against France, if not the best player.
I mean, in this form, it'd be hard not to pick Saka and Rashford with an England team at the moment, wouldn't it?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, they are. Well, Gareth Southgate's here. We've seen a picture of Gareth Southgate in the stands, and that big game, his first match in Naples at the end of March in the first Euro qualifier, Italy away. We'll need players at their best there when we go there. Here is Martinelli on the left-hand side. Martinelli playing it back, and then forward from Gabriel to the edge of the area. Xhaka in space in the box. Xhaka's ball across, deflected out. Odegaard shoots over wide via a deflection. Corner very nearly open. Well, it did open up for Xhaka.
Well, it just feels like there's definitely more goals in this game. Both teams, such quality attacking play. Lovely play from Arsenal again. The way they're passing the ball, 1 and 2 touch. Zinchenko with the clever left-footed pass round the corner. And Martin Odegaard very nearly again hitting the target.
Here's Martinelli's corner, high ball to the back post, which is headed down beyond the far post and behind. And the danger has gone. There were defenders either side of Gabriel, and he wasn't able to get it anywhere near on target. But 2-2 the score. Just going back to Bukayo Saka, you know, you'd say he's absolutely nailed on the way he's playing. If he carries on like this to the end of the season, for the young player of the season, if not the player of the season,
he's certainly right up there.
There again, Odegaard. I mean, there's so many Arsenal players.
Yeah, you can look at Odegaard and Saka at the moment, for me, that are contributing on an unbelievable level, and other players are playing well, but those two are really producing, you know, unbelievable impacts on game in terms of assists and goals.
But then there's Erling Haaland.
Yeah, he might sneak
be
into
in the
that
reckoning.
list. Yeah, he's got a chance, hasn't he?
25 Premier League goals now for him this season, 31 in all competitions after his 4th Manchester City hat-trick in our earlier commentary match.
Did I hear that is more than what Harry Kane had won a Golden Boot with?
Yes.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? After, 19 games?
Well, your friend of mine, Chris Sutton, got his Golden Boot shared his Golden Boot with 18 Premier League goals that season, and that is not doing Chris down at all. I should swiftly add.
But he shared it.
But you can.
That's classed as a win.
Here comes Manchester United down the left-hand side with Shaw, but the cross comes off Tomiyasu and bounces out of play. The only reason I mention that is that, to show what a total this is.
Yeah.
Compared to, that was in the full season, and he's now got 25 with just over half of the season gone for Manchester City, 20 matches played. So at the moment, Manchester City would be 3 points behind Arsenal at the top of the table were it to stay like this, but I'm delighted to say there's still a quarter of this match to go.
I think Fred's getting a good talking to at the moment from Ten Hag. He's fully stripped Fred, shirts on, ready to go right on the touchline, and the manager has given plenty of detailed instruction to him at the moment.
Well, the word going around pre-match, if you weren't listening to us earlier on 5 Live, was that Fred was initially planned to be in the team today, that there was some sort of hitch, and instead McTominay played. But Fred, well, he's limbering up and he's ready to come on, but it's Arsenal coming forward with that danger man on the right, Saka against Shaw. He's looking for the overlap from Tomiyasu, who gets the ball across. Martinelli heads it goalwards, nodded away on the edge of the box. Arsenal, as they play from right to left in the second half. Zinchenko back to Gabriel, closer to the halfway line. Then it comes back to Zinchenko again. Zinchenko is being chased by both Fernandes and Antony, and Arsenal have to give it to Granit Xhaka on the left, who will go all the way back into the centre circle again. So Arsenal move play out to the right hand side. 5 Live on the World Service from the BBC. 08 085 909 693 to talk to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton about this. You know you want to. 2-2 the score. Rashford and Lisandro Martinez for Manchester United, and Nketiah and Saka for Arsenal. And here is Martinelli. A little bit of space. Xhaka, go out wide, says someone down in front of us, which he does to Saka. Saka now into the area. He's on that dangerous left foot again. Oh, and he shoots right across the face of goal. And whether that actually took a flick on the way through or not, I'm not sure. It might have done. It's a corner.
Well, the shout is there from the crowd, and they're absolutely spot on. Go out wide. I think there's a slight touch on that. Oh, it just clips the post. That does.
It came off a defender's knee, and it hit the post.
Yeah, I mean, that is super tight. And how Manchester United are allowing him inside on that left foot, I don't care what you have to do, even if you overcompensate and just allow too much space for him down the line and say, go on then, you can beat me down the line. You cannot allow him at the moment inside on that left foot. He's just deadly.
Before we see this latest Arsenal corner, Erik ten Hag is making his first change. So we saw Tomiyasu come on for White at half-time, and that's it for Antony in this match.
It's an interesting change, isn't it?
Fred coming on.
Yep. Not really had the impact Antony has. A couple of good situations to do something, and he just hasn't delivered so far for me, certainly not in this game.
Well, you can hear what they're sending him off, the Arsenal fans. The chorus. Here's the corner. Martinelli plays it deep. It's headed away by Varane for Manchester United. Fred's involved in the action for the first time, throws himself on at the ball, and Eriksen clears downfield. I did wonder in this match whether Manchester United and Ten Hag may have gone with the sort of 3-man central midfield in the absence of Casemiro that they did against Manchester City. Martinelli bringing the ball into the box from the left-hand side, but defenders were there, and it was blocked away and out of the box, and Eriksen passes it forward now. Former Tottenham man, remember. McTominay shrugged off the ball by Zinchenko, the former Manchester City man. Zinchenko rolls the ball into the path of Tomiyasu, who angles it back to Saka. So here we go again. In fact, no, Zinchenko receives it, gives it back out to Tomiyasu on the right-hand side. Tomiyasu, low ball into the edge of the box. Odegaard is there as well. Saka, Odegaard also on his left foot. Arsenal being held here 2-2. And now Zinchenko into the penalty area again. Saka is there. Manchester United white shirts all behind the ball now. Even Weghorst is back there as well. Saka looks for the pass to Tomiyasu, who pulls it back towards the penalty spot, but a falling McTominay is able to head it away to relative safety. Arsenal come again on this cold afternoon here at the Emirates, but a match to really warm us. Arsenal, Gabriel, the crowd can sense that the team are building something here. Arsenal. Tomiyasu nearer the halfway line. Goes to Saka again. They're always looking to Saka. And in fact, Shaw went right out there with him and then drops off as the ball comes back to Saka again. Saka crossfield pass to Zinchenko, who pulls that down with his left foot, curls the ball in too close to De Gea, who's able to take a couple of steps forward and catch the ball in front of his eyes.
Yeah, it's one of those crosses that needed a centre forward running across the near post. It's the only way that was going to be of any danger. And unfortunately for Zinchenko, Nketiah just wasn't set in a position to make that run, and it was a comfortable catch for De Gea. But Arsenal really in quite a lot of control at the moment, John. It just feels like the game has swung in their favour a little bit, and they're just being very dominant. Manchester United not being able to keep hold of the ball.
No, and it's Arsenal again. Saka up to Nketiah near the edge of the box. Varane was tight with him. Nketiah then just takes it away from him, gives it back towards the centre circle. Partey is there. Partey now to the right hand side. Tomiyasu again has a look. Here's the cross, but it's pulled down by the right foot, the stretched right foot of McTominay, who volleys it away downfield. So 08085 909 693 to book your call with Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. There's more live sport later from the NFL playoffs. That's on Sports Extra a little earlier as well tonight. 7:30, the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, and then the tennis through the night, the early hours. The Australian Open, that's on Sports Extra. Tennis breakfast from 7 a.m. And then Monday Night Club tomorrow, Fulham Spurs tomorrow evening as well. And then commentary live from Southampton and Nottingham on Tuesday and Wednesday in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, as Nketiah concedes a free kick halfway inside the Manchester United half. Yes, that's where Manchester United go next, isn't it? After this to Nottingham, Wednesday night, Nottingham Forest against Manchester United, and Tuesday night I'll be at Southampton for Southampton against Newcastle. So join us for that on 5 Live. Free kick for Manchester United, and De Gea to take this downfield. 15 minutes to go. Long from the Manchester United goalkeeper. Zinchenko heads it forward. Right foot forward from Varane. Zinchenko wins the header against Bruno Fernandes, who's gone down, claiming that he was shoved in the back. Referee Taylor lets that go. Wan-Bissaka then wins a throw in near the halfway line.
Yeah, just looking at their shape at the moment, United, they're just sat with McTominay and Fred literally not really moving from in front of Martinez and Varane. Christian Eriksen has just slipped a little bit further forward into that central area in midfield, and Bruno Fernandes has drifted over to the right-hand side in replacement for Anthony. So the same kind of shape, but just a slightly, probably a more defensive personnel, it has to be said, with Fred and McTominay in that central midfield area.
The old firm.
Yeah, it's the old firm.
The old-ish firm.
Yeah.
Fred and McTominay. No Casemiro today. Whether he would have made a difference or not, I think is debatable. Well, certainly wouldn't have made them worse, would he? No. Here is Weghorst on the left-hand side, angles the ball forward, and that's cut out. Tomiyasu was there, prevented it from reaching Rashford, and that's passed forward to Zinchenko, who's put under pressure by McTominay. McTominay getting forward, playing it through to Eriksen, might roll across the box, which it does, but it was tidied up by Saliba, who was quick to the ball. Little pass back to Ramsdale, who was able to clear it out.
Yeah, hand up from Zinchenko straight away as he runs, breathes a sigh of relief, trying to do a Cruyff turn in that position under pressure. Almost the last man is a bit brave or a bit daft, really, to be honest. He just needed to get a solid control of the ball and just a simple pass. He just tries something a little bit too flash in the wrong area, nearly gets caught out. It's not the time or the game to be doing that. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. Thoroughly enjoyable. I know
Jimmy Armfield would have enjoyed this, absolutely certain. 5 years today since Jimmy died, so thoughts very much with the great days that we spent with Jimmy. As Arsenal take this free kick downfield, McTominay is able to come across and hook it forward. Arsenal with a header centre field, bounces down, and then forward from Saliba. Partey, who does well, beats Fred. Partey now takes it under the edge of the box. Little ball through. No, that's intercepted by Lisandro Martinez. And then Luke Shaw actually puts in an important challenge on Saka as well. And Manchester United move it forward, and Fernandes through to Rashford. Rashford, goalkeeper comes out. The ball runs away. Rashford, contact on him. He's gone down. And the referee, Taylor, says play on. Oh, well, the defender was there as well. Wow. I think it was Saliba. Goalkeeper out. Saliba going with Rashford. Rashford went down.
Wow, what a piece of counter-attacking football from Manchester United. And what about that touch from Wout Weghorst?
Erik ten Hag is saying to the assistant down here, Gary Pezic, he's asking the question, should that have been, it was outside the penalty area. Here's Saka though at the other end. Saka up against Shaw, right-footed cross to the back post. Martinelli chests down, challenge comes in on him. Bruno Fernandes, Martinelli then turns and shoots, and it comes off Martinez's chest and bounces away wide and high for a corner.
Oh, end-to-end stuff. I mean, I just want to talk about that touch from Wout Weghorst first on that counter-attack. It was brilliant. Anyone question whether he's any good with his feet? It was a lovely cushion layoff, brilliant weight of pass and angle to make that chance happen. Rashford nearly getting in, and Arsenal straight bounce back on the attack, and the ball just wouldn't drop for Martinelli, was it? It was waiting for it to come down. It was too high, so he had to adjust and then come inside and get a shot off that looked like it was going into the far post, but Martinez gets his head in the way and puts it out for a corner.
It's Matthew Upson with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live, World Service. Corner to Arsenal, left-footed delivery is headed away. I think it was Varane who got there first and amongst a crowd of players. Comes to Nketiah on the left-hand side. Nketiah up against Wan-Bissaka. He's got support from Xhaka. Nketiah takes it all. Wan-Bissaka dives in, gets the ball low. Had to get that ball with that challenge, but he did. Got up, came out with the ball in his feet.
He got it late though, didn't he? He slid and he waited, what felt like a long time before he actually made contact with the ball, and if he didn't get the ball, he was in big trouble.
Arsenal again, Saka, Odegaard back to the goal just outside the box. Zinchenko couldn't slip the pass forward. Mikel Arteta almost split his trousers. Here's Martinelli. Martinelli on the left-hand side. Zinchenko is there. Worked back by Xhaka. Martinelli's onto this, but no, Wan-Bissaka went to ground and turned it out of play for a corner.
Oh wow, it's all happening. High energy stuff here at the Emirates.
I remember Pep Guardiola once splitting his trousers when we were in Munich when he was the Bayern coach. Here's a corner from the left-hand side.
It's trouser splitting stuff.
It is. Martinelli with the corner, and De Gea gets a punch on that, right-fisted punch. Zinchenko, now Saka, defender dives in, still Saka with the ball at his feet, chips it across, comes off Varane's head, then at the back post, Nketiah, now across from Xhaka, Gabriel sends it goalwards, headed away by McTominay and then cleared away by Wan-Bissaka. Hanging on Manchester United.
Well, every time Saka's on the ball, on that left foot, the whole stadium just holds its breath really, waiting to see what piece of magic is going to happen.
Now he's back-heeled at Saka to Odegaard, whose ball goes all the way across Xhaka, challenged by Fernandes, patted away by De Gea. What was he doing? Manchester United clear it, comes out to Partey, low ball to the left-hand side. Martinelli is there. Martinelli stabs it across the box, a stretch, and a clearance by Wan-Bissaka. Hanging on.
I know we said Aaron Ramsdale should have punched that ball earlier, but how did David De Gea not catch that? Unbelievable decision to punch and nearly put his team right under pressure again.
Beach volleyball stuff. Here's Xhaka, couldn't get the ball past Weghorst, it is, who's back there almost as the right back, an auxiliary right back. And Manchester United, I think, consider themselves a little fortunate still to be at 2-2. Arsenal are battering on the door here, and there's a United player down, and that's a bit of game management here, I think. let's not judge it.
No.
But Bruno Fernandes, the captain, has gone down holding his head, and it might well be a head injury, so we have to cut him a bit of slack here. However, what it does mean is that after a period of intense pressure, and Arsenal's players are all coming across here for Mikel Arteta to have a word with them, this is just providing Manchester United with a breather.
Yeah. There's not a lot in the head injury from what I can see on the replay. I think you might have been right in your initial assessment, John.
Substitution, and it's a debut now for Leandro Trossard, Arsenal's new number 19, signed this week from Brighton for somewhere between 20 and 27 million pounds, with all of the various terms of that deal. So impressive for Brighton in recent times, but obviously things went sour there, and now here he is. Leandro Trossard steps into the match.
You know, when you envisage yourself having an impact on your first day at work, well, Leandro Trossard has an opportunity here, to make something special happen in a game. I mean, can you imagine if he came on and scored the winner in this match, the way it's poised and how it's gone so far? Be a dream come true.
Luke Shaw has upended Bukayo Saka on the far side on the Arsenal right wing. Yellow card for Luke Shaw, and I think we all know what he was doing there against his teammate. He's just stopped him in his tracks, felt that the time had come. What have we got? 6 minutes plus added time to go, just to make a point.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had a tough day against Saka.
He has, and Saka again, he buys time when he receives the ball. He's poised with his body weight, and he just throws defenders off, being able to commit, and he just buys himself so much space and time, and then he can do his thing. He's so smooth the way he's moving at the moment, Bukayo Saka. Really is a joy to watch.
Yeah, well, we're seeing Luke Shaw against some of the best players in the world, and they've not caused him as many problems perhaps as Saka has today. So it's 2-2, Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. Free kick, Odegaard plays it in, Weghorst there on the edge of the box. Manchester United can't clear it there with a super save. Was it Nketiah who shot goalwards? I think it might have been. And De Gea, really important save there, diving to his left to push it away. Now that was De Gea at his best.
Yeah, scrappy fight ball, really drops in the box, nobody clears it. And Nketiah on the swivel with his left foot, such close range as well. I mean, it is relatively close to De Gea, but he still has to make a reaction with his left hand and just palm that away. And Nketiah, so disappointed. He knew that's the opportunity for him to score.
Huge chance. A fine save, but it should have been in the back of the Manchester United net. Still 2-2, throw-in is taken. Now the ball on the edge of the area. Arsenal rolled back to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu went in for the challenge, groans there. I'm not sure they took the right option there, Arsenal. Could have been Odegaard. Tomiyasu, I think, was on his heels. Partey now from the right-hand side. Tomiyasu right over there on the far side. Shaw's tight, puts in the challenge. Out it goes for a throw-in. Winder open for 606, 08, 085, 909, 693. With this scoreline, Manchester City will have a 3-point deficit. Arsenal coming forward, across the box it goes. Wan-Bissaka at the back post with his right foot, quakes it out. Corner to Arsenal.
You can feel the Arsenal fans willing the ball in the back of the net. Everyone is up off their seat. Last 5 minutes of the game, pressure is all on that Manchester United goal. It's another corner
from the left hand side then. In it comes to the edge of the 6-yard box, headed up by Martinez, nodded back in for Arsenal, but bounces through to De Gea, who's able to actually take time to chest it down, and then Nketiah's run into him in the area, which is just silly really, because De Gea's taken the opportunity there to actually just hit the turf and go down. The way that this match has been going the last 15-20 minutes, Manchester United will, if it's a point that they get out of this, they'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to do this, Nketiah. But David De Gea, oh my goodness, I mean,
it'll be on Chris Sutton's simulation game tonight after that. The Manchester United goalkeeper, just that hand across his chest.
That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. It's just, and now he's up feeling his shoulder. I mean, credit to him for this save. Just look at the replay. gets down to his left, it's close range. And Ketia, though, so disappointed with that, John. I mean, that's what an example. Just he scuffs the ball into the ground a little bit. If he hits it cleanly anywhere else in the goal, it's in. He just doesn't get the contact.
Here, Manchester United, a rare attack now in the match for them. Eriksen keeps his feet and shoots goalwards, and it's deflected away off the shin of Gabriel, who went with him. So it's a Manchester United corner, and this means that they can get out of their own half.
I mean, I'm just moving my neck because I haven't looked to my right hand side for quite some time. It's all been at the other end, and sometimes as a centre back, Gabriel coming across there, this is your most vulnerable moment when you're not in the game a lot, you're not having to defend a lot, and all of a sudden something just happens. You have to stay tuned in.
So it's a corner for Manchester United. We've got 3 minutes left plus added time. Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2. Corner from Shaw is headed away for Arsenal. Comes out for Manchester United. In fact, Nketiah was caught by Wan-Bissaka. It's a bouncing ball, and Nketiah was running at it. Wan-Bissaka was stationary, waiting for it to come down, and with his raised foot, he's caught Nketiah. It's not Nketiah, is it? It's Saka.
It's Saka.
Yeah,
he just gets there first, and Wan-Bissaka kicks his foot in mid-air. I mean, he does well to get away with not a yellow card. To be honest, that's a high foot as well, John, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's a little surprising that's not a yellow card.
Yeah.
However, Arsenal 2, Manchester United 2, and ball played up to Saka. Arsenal with it halfway inside their own half, so it would be a 3-point lead Arsenal would have with this scoreline. And those league matches not far away. FA Cup on Friday night, and you'll hear commentaries next weekend. FA Cup 4th round, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and 5 Live is the place to hear Arsenal against Manchester City on the 15th of February. Here is McTominay up to Weghorst, but Arsenal are able to step in. Here's Trossard now. Trossard showing the Emirates Stadium what he can do for the first time in a red and white shirt. Turns, gives it back to the halfway line to Xhaka. Tomiyasu, now it's out to the right hand side, looking for Saka. Of course they are. Saka to Odegaard on the edge of the box. Fred's in there to do his work for Manchester United though, and now Shaw and Fred are able to get it away, but the ball's played back across from the far side by Rashford, who asked a lot of questions of his teammate Martinez in the box, who was smartly able to take it down and clear it away.
I had it straight into his chest, didn't he? I mean, it was
actually not that cross.
Chest height. He deals with it well, Martinez, who's had a very solid game. I know he's got his goal, but defensively he's been in the right place at the right time.
So Partey, that was missed by McTominay, who slid in, and here's Trossard now, uses Zinchenko's ball across, Odegaard snapped in by Nketiah, and Arsenal are in front, 3-2. What a match here in the 90th minute. Nketiah slides on his knees, they've found a way through, and the leaders can celebrate. Arsenal 3, Manchester United 2.
Well, what a massive goal that could turn out to be. I'm looking at the reaction of Mikel Arteta, and he's surprisingly subdued on the touchline. Brilliant play from Trossard. I think there's a look at the goal. Seems to be a real pause in the stadium, but Leandro Trossard really did play his part in that. Drove brilliantly into the middle of the pitch, slipped the ball wide. It's just a check as to whether or not Nketiah is in an offside position. VAR having a look. It's very tight.
I think Wan-Bissaka might be playing him onside.
I think you're right. I think is it Martinez next to him? I think
Wan-Bissaka is further back.
It's Wan-Bissaka.
And we're just seeing the pictures now. We're seeing the VAR pictures.
Yep.
Well, with the naked eye, you can never tell. But I think the goal will stand. So Odegaard, who's round about the penalty spot, stabs it forward, and Nketiah, who's in the 6-yard box, sort of gets a flick on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he actually gets. He sort of lifts up his right leg, and it just glances off his shin, right shin calf.
His shin.
And we're still waiting for the decision. Goal stands. VAR says yes. And Arsenal 3, Manchester United 2 is the score, and we're in added time. And Manchester United now facing their first defeat since November. And Arsenal look as though they're marching on.
Well, the initial, the offside with Martinez did look very tight, but when you see Wan-Bissaka, how deep he is on the other side, he is clearly onside in Nketiah, and he's in the right place at the right time. Great position as a centre forward. The ball ricochets to him. Doesn't matter what body part you get on this, you just get a touch and put it into the net, and that's exactly what he does for his team. And it has been coming, John. The second half, Arsenal have really pushed and probed brilliantly, applied so much pressure, kept going, and they've got their reward.
And we're in added time, and hands up who saw how much added time there was. Well, it's difficult to know. I'm sure somebody will tell us. But it is Arsenal 3, Manchester United 2, and we've already had 2 minutes of added time. Apparently 3. 3. Thought it might be more than that.
Yeah.
But Arsenal will take that. And Garnacho's come on for Varane, and Arsenal are going to bring on Holding very shortly, and that's what they'll be intending to do. Hold on to this lead. So Arsenal, well, it's been tough. They were 1-0 down. Mikel Arteta runs across to administer and oversee this change, and it's Odegaard who's involved in the third goal, what looks as though to be the winning goal. Odegaard, the captain, coming off, and the number 16, Rob Holding, coming on. And listen to the atmosphere here inside the Emirates. Listen to this. Super Mikel Arteta. So Holding sprints on to take up a position in the back line for Arsenal, and Arsenal are about to hit 50 points. That would be 50 points from 19 matches at the halfway stage of the Premier League season. So it is quite a story, and they've had to come from behind against Manchester United on this 10-match unbeaten run that they are on, coming here since they lost at Aston Villa in early November before the World Cup, and they're nearly there now, Arsenal. There's 3 minutes, I make it bear up. There have been 2 substitutions in at a time, so we might have an extra minute. So Arsenal have to defend here. It's hit forward towards Fernandes, but headed away, and it comes out to Trossard, and Trossard now carrying it into the Manchester United territory. 2-goal Eddie Nketiah now takes the ball down into the full-back position, and he works it infield to Trossard, who can't get there first. Martinez cleared. Xhaka though, Xhaka into the box, Trossard there as well. Lovely footwork from Trossard, still going. He's beaten 2 men, and then he goes down. No free kick, says referee Taylor. However, Arsenal take up possession again. Zinchenko passes it forward to Nketiah, and they're all pointing to Nketiah to take it to the corner flag, which is what he's doing. 2 United men there with him. Wan-Bissaka comes out with the ball. I'm not sure there'll be time for one more attack. Martinez hits it downfield. Anthony Taylor, he's not got his whistle to his lips yet. Arsenal have possession though. It's dumped forward, back to Fred. There is the final whistle. And listen to these celebrations inside the Emirates. Mikel Arteta is mobbed by his coaching staff. What a win it's been. Manchester United came here on a 10-match run without defeat. Manchester United were the only team that had beaten Arsenal in the Premier League so far this season. They put themselves into a winning position, but Arsenal had what it takes to turn this around and win the match. And here they are, Arsenal winning away at Tottenham last weekend, coming from behind to beat Manchester United here on successive Sundays, and Mikel Arteta's team restore their 5-point lead at the top, and they hit 50 points exactly at the midway point of their Premier League season. Matt Upton.
Well, what a game of football, what a performance from Arsenal, and what a result. The difference this makes to their league season. You can just see in the reaction of the players, from Mikel Arteta, a couple of players dropping to the floor, the supporters. Brilliant game of football. Manchester United really playing their part in this game. You know, 2 teams at the highest level, in great form, coming together. Just a great occasion, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, quite a match. Rashford made it 1-0 Manchester United, and Nketiah made it 1-1. Arsenal were in front through that super goal from Saka, 2-1 Arsenal. Martinez's goal, that header, made it 2-2, and then Eddie Nketiah with that tiny little touch of his calf in the 90th minute won it for Arsenal. They've been criticised for the manner of their celebrations this season, but I think people might understand it today. Arsenal 3, Manchester United 2.
And the noise, Matt Upson, the noise, a club, a fan base, a manager, all on the same page. If they win the league title in May, this will be one of the moments they look back on.
Absolutely defining moments in your league season. You look back and you reflect at the end of the season, and you might pick a few out. This will be on that list. To come back from being behind and then to go level again, that's always difficult to go to 2-2, you know, the disappointment to get over that. But I have to say, second half, Arsenal pushed and pushed, dominated the game. You know, the amount of attempts on goal, the way the players were driving forward. Bukayo Saka was absolutely brilliant. The addition of Trossard as well, I thought he did excellent when he came on. Looked quick, drove at players, was aggressive. I think they'll look back and just realise that this is a great moment.
Do you know, John, I wrote down after 80 minutes, nobody deserves to lose this game. But then Arsenal, it was like the last round of a heavyweight boxing fight. They just had more, didn't they? They outlasted Manchester United.
Yeah, they stepped it up, and there was that feeling that the match did have another goal in it. And I mean, Manchester United were really stretched, put under severe pressure, and Arsenal had what it takes, and only half a season to go now for them.